Somebody come get 'em. They're too old for TikTok.
Hello and welcome to Too Old for TikTok episode 207. It's the middle of March. It was just tax day. Oh my god, it's April.
Also tax day is tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but when the episode comes out, it would have just been tax day.
You're right. Sorry,
I forgot. So this has been a great start to episode 207. We'll get right to TikTok today because a lot is going on TikTok and we can't wait to talk about it. But first, Catalina, are you well? How are you?
You said we were getting right to TikTok and now you're asking me if I'm well.
I'm just being courteous to see how you're doing.
Yeah, but then I'm going to talk for like 17 minutes about something irrelevant. So I'm
okay,
well.
Fine.
I'm about to put a true lemon into my water.
So she's very well.
Are you well, Dina?
I'm very well.
Good. I'm really excited about our first topic because I feel like the platform is coming together in a way over this topic. It's very politically topical and it's also funny, and I also got immediately.
Yeah, lots to unpack. Okay, so this is the Chinese supplier side of TikTok, and a video that will kick us off into this topic is by Sierra Catherine.
I have been on a Chinese supplier side of TikTok and I'm loving it. They are basically like, we know that people generally knew that their stuff was being marked up and we never said anything about it as a courtesy. You know what I'm saying? As a courtesy, is to not harm your brands. However, you want to bite the hand that feeds you? No. Now we're going to show everyone exactly where all of your things are made. We're going to talk to the people who make all of those things. We're going to tell you how much those things actually cost as a finished product. I just saw one where my man said I can get 20 laundry pods for $1. $1? Do you know how much Tide is charging me for laundry pods? I saw another one, and this woman's pulling out Louis Vuitton bags like, oh, this is $2. This is $2. $2? Yeah, you got me. Cut the middleman out. And I'm watching every video. Because next thing I need to find out is how to get it right from the source. How to get all my stuff right from the source. 20 pods for $1? Do you know? I'm still stuck on that. Do you know how much it costs to do my laundry here in America? Do you know how much a Tide Pod costs?
So directly after this, I saw a video of the laundry pods, and it's by Mr. Long. Pods. Okay, so what are your thoughts, Catalina?
The laundry pods were not what got me. I mean, I guess they got me interested, but what I started doing was liking every single video that came up that was a Chinese warehouse trying to sell their products directly to US consumers. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of flabbergasted by the speed with which this content was being churned out.
Totally. It's like all the suppliers were talking to each other and was like, let's just infiltrate US TikTok. It was a very weird thing, but it's really fun and interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that these warehouses exist and that they have blanks. Like, I've seen a lot of content about Aloe and what Aloe leggings, it's not as far as I know, it's not a Chinese supplier, but like wherever their blanks come from are like really inexpensive, and people being like, this isn't even good quality. Like, so there's already content on the platform about like where your favorite brands are sourcing their unbranded blanks that then they put their brand on. So I've been seeking out the Chinese warehouse videos, but the ones that surprised me the most were actually by some creators that were in China shopping at malls, and they were like US American creators who were at these warehouse malls in China and like had gone to do consumer tourism. And the fact that already existed, I was like, wow, this was already a side of TikTok that we just like weren't on because I hadn't liked enough videos direct from Chinese suppliers, except for industrial grade glycine.
Oh my God, the industrial grade glycine was really a time in TikTok. I missed that time.
Yeah, but
they were the best.
Do you remember when we went in Austin for your 30th birthday, we went to Sam Moon?
Of course I remember Sam Moon. Yeah, it was basically everything in that store was made from China and really cheap. Like, I remember Angela got this purse for like $20 that like
not
lasted
$20.
her. What, like
It was
10?
way cheaper. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
there
it
was no
lasted
way
like years, and it was, I mean, it was like fake leather, but it was still made well. Like the zippers didn't fall apart. And then I ended up getting that same purse because I'm like, oh, this is great. I remember it was like a crossbody bag.
Well, okay, so there's a lot of aspects of what's going on about this right now, but one of the main things is this like prejudiced notion that everything made in China is cheap, and that's what the retailer or the warehouses are trying to draw people's attention to, is the way that specifically like different brands will have the products made first in China and then shipped out to whatever country and branded in that country so that it can be said that it's made in that country.
Right,
but
and
now
then
I don't know
markup,
what
yeah.
to believe because because there's so much conflicting information, and so let's also, just in the response to the tariffs, there's a really funny video by I Am Buddha Wang Wang.
Hello from China. Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
Yeah, I can't name something I have in my home that's like U.S. made, except, you know what? Except Tito's. Tito's
But
is
who
made
knows
in
where
Austin.
they like source
Who knows
their,
where they package it? And,
also
yeah.
their factory materials.
Yeah, I think that's why I think like you're saying you don't know what to believe, but I think different pieces are fake and different pieces are real.
Right.
Of what the information we're getting. So we of course know that things are marked up when you have a brand. I know if I'm getting a bag from Prada, it costs whatever, $10 to make the bag. You're buying the brand. You're not buying the quality of material, although
Right.
it's supposed to be quality. So part of me is like, don't people already know this? Like if there's a middleman, of course it's going to be.
I think people really think with
higher.
some of these luxury brands, and in some cases, I think it is happening, but they're imagining like a grandma in Italy sewing their purse.
Well,
right?
that's crazy to me because it seems to me to be an obvious thing that, I mean, just based on supply chain, we should talk to Karen about this.
Truly.
But everything is made in a factory, and everything gets marked up once it trades hands so many times.
Right. I think that this is sort of pulling back the curtain on how the sausage gets made with like all the products that we consume in our day-to-day lives, because it's not, and I was reading a really interesting in this way in terms of supply chain article in the New York Times today about minerals that the Chinese mine and that are like integral to magnets that go into cars and actually are really integral to all of the different like technology that the US creates for warfare. Wow. And that's one of the things that the Chinese are like pausing production on as a response to the tariffs. And so I think on TikTok people are getting excited because they're like, oh my God, we can buy these like we can buy from wholesalers without the middleman, cut out the middleman, avoid the tariffs somehow, and get all the same quality products that we were getting anyway. The fact is we could have done that already.
Right.
But what's even more interesting to me, beyond the opportunity to get like Lululemon leggings without the Lululemon brand on them, is to learn about all of the different details of production of consumer goods that aren't even just the good, but go into making the good, packaging the good, and shipping the good, that are like being affected by the trade war, basically. But I did almost get got because I started going down the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, I do believe that they make Hermes Birkin bags in China and then like ship them to France or whatever and then ship them back, so I was like, oh my God, it's real. And then I got to a video by Jessica Elise, which she just like stops talking in the middle of the video, which was very confusing to me.
Respectfully, some of y'all are worried about the wrong things. Instead of being concerned with whether Hermes makes their bags in France, which they do, you all need to go back to school for listening comprehension, because not one of those luxury manufacturing videos mentions making.
But the comment section really, really woke me up, because I was sitting there. I literally had one of the thoughts in the comment section that was like, wait, were the best bags you could get in Canal Street, like the ones that were like in the basement, like in the van, were those like the unbranded real bags?
Absolutely not. But that's what's funny. That's what I keep thinking back to, are the bags in Chinatown when like someone would take you to this basement and you would get these bags. And they look similar. The quality is nowhere near the same. I think everyone, if you feel the bag, you can tell. So
I mean, most of the time, the way that you figure it out is by like stitching and the tags.
Yeah.
And the zippers and just like the quality of material and everything. I mean, I remember buying a Kate Spade purse, a very ugly, by the way, Kate Spade purse from one of those like Canal Street back rooms back in the day.
We all did back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was like Coach for me. I feel like, not Kate Spade. I think we like were into Coach.
We were into
back
different
then.
brands. But the other thing is like with DHgate, what everyone's been saying is like, this is what the girls on DHgate have been doing already. They're just buying straight from wholesale suppliers. But now people not only they want to overstep DHgate and just go straight to the factory.
Exactly.
I literally texted you yesterday a factory website and was like, I need an in-app translator so I can order something from this factory.
But I don't understand how that will work, because there's no infrastructure in place for the shipment and the purchasing, right? Like, you haven't figured it out.
Well, that's why we should go to the Jessica Elise comment section.
Yes, I think the first one that I really like is by Micro Hippo 86. She said, or he, I don't know. I think the point is same leather, thread, level of craftsmanship. What am I paying for the name? We've been fed a narrative made in China means low quality, and they're challenging that perception.
Which I think is great.
I think that's very true, yes. Another one, Camille said, yeah, I'm like, I don't think it is the point is to start consuming dupes. You should see it and decide to cut your consumption or even make something bespoke, in my opinion. Which I think the dupe conversation is really interesting, because now what's considered a dupe? Is it a dupe if it's coming from the supplier and just doesn't have the logo? Or is it a dupe if it's like different material, slightly different material, but I don't know.
The one that woke me up was I saw people saying the bags on Canal Street are real and China just exposed the industry, please. And I was oh
please.
no.
Oh no.
That was the thought process that I was going down.
You were going down like you really thought those Chinatown bags
I was
were
like,
real.
wait, are they real?
Absolutely not.
But I think that the comment that you pointed out about calling out this notion that made in China indicates low or poor quality is a misconception, because a range of products, quality of products are made in China, right? So it's a fairly racist idea that an entire country makes poor quality products, and what they're doing with their response to the trade wars or the tariffs is demonstrating how much other countries depend on their, in many cases, very high quality products to maintain their supply chains. Now, does that mean there's no poor quality products in China? Of course not. There's poor quality products everywhere.
Exactly.
Like, come on. But I was seeing like different spreadsheets that people were making where they were finding the factories where specific brands purchase from. That was most interesting to me, because like COS is a brand that I like.
Which
if
one?
COS is buying
COS? I've never even heard of that.
It's like a French brand.
Clothing?
So yeah, a clothing brand. It's like more it's nice. It's well constructed. It's like a t-shirt is going to be $45,
Not
right?
to be confused with Lacoste, which is when you first met me, I was wearing a Lacoste
Yeah,
shirt.
you were wearing
Never
a popped
forget.
collar Lacoste shirt.
I was not Pops. I maintain that it was not Pops, never. But anyway.
Yeah. The woman, or the spreadsheet that I was looking at that showed one of the brands, the person was marking like brand and the factory that they source a specific type of goods from, and they had like Zara and they had COS. I buy plain white t-shirts from COS, right? If I could buy a t-shirt direct from the supplier that's the exact same t-shirt without the COS tag, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
But as you're pointing out, and this I think might have been in these comments, and it also came up from just all my scrolling, is then another type of creator that's coming out of the woodwork is people who are like promoting shipping and personal shopping businesses. So it's like other middlemen are appearing.
Exactly. What's going to be interesting is that the new business opportunities that present itself.
Right. And then another comment from Jermaine Nicole on this video is some person was saying, some videos are missing important cogs. Example, equitable wages. Should a bag cost $38K? No, but it shouldn't be $2 either.
That's a great point as well. Yeah.
I mean, and that's also still implicating the entire industry on which what we consume in the United States is built, because the reason that they depend so much on these foreign factories and foreign labor is because it is
cheaper,
a much cheaper labor.
Yeah.
And
it's not fair, but that's just the reality. Yeah,
exactly. And people don't want to pay the price. People want the US made goods, but don't want to pay the price that it costs to make something in the United States and to pay someone a fair wage in the United States. So they depend on I can only think of the word in Spanish.
They depend on the labor force of other countries.
Right. Like,
is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm trying to think of a different word. It's okay.
Okay. Well, I think we'll close out this section with a video of the suppliers.
Subcontractors.
That's what you were thinking of?
That was the word I was thinking of, but
Perfect.
I was thinking of it in Spanish.
How do you say it in Spanish? Give us a Spanish
It's
lesson.
like basically saying like it's a tercerización.
Oh, okay.
So it's like third partying.
Got it.
And I was like, well, that's certainly not the word.
Okay. Well, we'll close with a video by Luna's Sourcing China.
This is the Lululemon people.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see. I'll be interested to see what happens in the coming weeks just on TikTok if more and more suppliers are coming on. But
it's also so complex because I'm sure some of these companies are actually the suppliers and other people are the people who are supplying Canal Street, and they're like, hell yeah. Come get my $2 Kelly bags.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the Wild West, really.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to Coachella. Every year Coachella comes around, it like hits me like a ton of bricks. I never know it's coming, but then I see it on my For You page and it's here. I have not been getting videos of people complaining about the lines, but I've seen it on the news. First of all, record-breaking heat this year. It looks miserable. And the lines to get in are like 12 hours long in the car. There are no bathrooms. Anyway, Coachella, I say this every year, Coachella would not be for me. Mm-hmm. However, one thing I did like, I am liking all the videos of the performances because it's like, oh, I'm there. I could just see the performances on TikTok. So Lady Gaga had a performance of Shallows, which I absolutely loved.
I did love that. To your point about lines and reasons why Coachella doesn't seem to be for me, I saw a video of a guy who was talking about everything he had eaten in a day.
Oh, and then they added it up, the price. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And the lunch was like $75.
Yeah, like tacos. Oh, someone had a lemonade that was like $17. It's crazy.
This is what I mean, although, you know what? I went to Charlie XCX at like the hockey rink stadium in Columbus, Ohio, and paid $13 for like a Budweiser, right? So I mean, sad. I do things like that, but it's just when you're in a captive market. So when you're a captive market, Coachella, music festivals, sporting events, Disneyland are peak examples of captive markets where you have no choice but to pay this price so they can price gouge so incredibly.
Yeah.
So I understand why people do it, but the reason why I'm just incredibly over it is because of the times that I attended music festivals with access that was attributed to people who were like VIP or artist wristbands, and you didn't pay for that wristband in the case. I mean, I never paid for one of those wristbands, and you get everything free. And just the fact that like the people who paid thousands of dollars for a ticket also have to be
paying $17 for lemonade. Yeah,
and then these assholes who didn't pay shit are getting all their drinks and food for free is like, I hate this. I mean, it's a great example of the world we live in.
Yeah, exactly. It's capitalism, baby.
I mean, it's not, it's just bad.
Shall we go to the next video that is coming out of Coachella that I saw the LA Times posted? And it's a video of Bernie Sanders talking to a crowd at Coachella, trying to appeal to the Gen Z of it all.
Look, I'm not going to be long, but this is what I want to say. This country faces some very difficult challenges. And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. Now you can turn away and you can ignore what goes on, but if you do that, you do it at your own peril. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
Bernie should have used what we just talked about with the class discrepancies at Coachella as an example for why we should fight the oligarchy.
Yes, would have been a great example. I was nervous for Bernie, though. He's older, and it was hot there. I'm glad he was on stage at night, but to my next video, there is a singer called Lola Young, Lola Young, sorry. Clearly, I feel like I've heard of her once. I really don't know anything about her.
You know about her because, well, I knew her song before all this happened, and then I saw it happen, and I was like, oh dear, interesting. But Jake Shane, Octopus Lover 8, made a video with Sophia Richie where she literally just, like, bopped to this song, and
it was a Lola,
and people started being like, I'm doing the Sophia Richie dance, and everyone was like, that's not a dance, that's just called having rhythm.
Got it. Okay, so anyway, Lola Young was singing a new song called Spiders, and she threw up during the performance. Again, she was singing, and I don't know how she did it. She was singing, and she was singing well. She was holding water, so clearly it looked like she was trying to stave off dehydration. But then she's like, bucket please, and just goes to the corner of the stage and vomit. Damn, I'm glad, nothing happened to Bernie.
Yikes.
It's hot and it's dangerous there. The last thing I'll say about Coachella, I saw another video someone posted about his friend. He was at the Beyonce Baychella, and Beyonce started performing, and his friend was like, I gotta go to the med tent. Like, something's wrong with my thighs. I can't stand anymore. So he had to bring his friend to the med tent during Beyonce's performance. So had to miss some of Beyonce's performance, all because his friend was chafing.
Chafing can hurt really bad.
It can, but also if you're in the desert and you know it's going to be 100 degrees, put some deodorant on your thighs. Buy some Body Glide. Bring some Body Glide. When Beyonce performed, they called it Baychella.
Oh, so it wasn't like a separate festival. No. It's just, okay.
No, it was the year Beyonce performed at Coachella. Okay, we need to move on now. My For You page, it's Passover. It's filled with a lot of Passover content. We have to call out a great creator, Murray Hillboy, who's doing a lot of comedy skits about the Seders.
Lisa, we're here, honey. So let's move it. I'm coming. Get my second sweater from the car. What makes tonight different than any other night? Nothing. Does everybody have a Haggadah? It's the same story every year. Who was that? Who said that? Me, your 25-year-old son who is sitting at the kids' table. Serves you right for acting like a child. All right, the 4 questions. Sammy, you're up. Barhu et Adonai Hamvorah. Sammy, that's from your bat mitzvah, sweetheart. Weird. Which one is this? At least she's pretty. I'll just do it.
I find them very funny and accurate. The next video is by Sammy Nene 89.
When your bread doesn't bake and it's not a mistake, that's a matzah.
That's a matzah.
Exactly. When it breaks in your hand, just like hard grains of sand, that's a matzah.
That's a matzah.
We recline and we talk about Moses.
Okay, I think everyone has really good voices at this Seder, so I'm jealous because when people be singing at my Seder, like, it doesn't sound like this. But we did try a song. Emily and Harrison pulled up something that was supposed to go to A Spoonful of Sugar. Mm-hmm. So the chorus is really easy to remember, but do you remember how A Spoonful of Sugar starts the song?
A spoonful of sugar.
That's the chorus.
Medicine. Oh, nope.
Yeah. We were trying to figure it out. Finally, Emily figured it out. It's like spoken at first, and then it goes to the chorus. So we didn't have the best time singing, but we tried.
That's very lovely. I'm glad you tried.
The next thing on my free page is maybe my favorite video I've seen this whole year. I loved it so much. It's a video by Gen X Life.
My name is Lou, and I put my bed frame up for free on Facebook Marketplace. DJ, hit that track. Now, I have turned it into a PowerPoint and also a musical. And because it's being filmed for national TV, I've decided to leave her full name and Facebook profile picture in, because I don't give a Is the bed frame still available? Yes, it is. Gay emoji. Can I please negotiate the price? No. What? It's free. You're on a hard bargain, Lucia, but that's just not the way Marketplace working. I'm like, okay, how about half price just for you, Eileen? How much now? Still free. Dance, dance, dance. You are the best. Party, party. Here's my address. Wow, that's a long, long way from my place now. How about a small discount? I said, Eileen, I can't be clear. It's free to pick up. Could you drive it to me, please? What the No, please, no, please, no, please, no, please. I don't own a car. Why didn't you say so? I can drive. See you tomorrow at 5. Very, very early the next morning, I received this message from Eileen. Lucia, I'm out the front. Sent at 5 a.m. I said, see you at 5. Please come out and let me in. I should have known not to trust you. Axe, pickaxe, fire. Should have known you didn't care. Vomit, fire. I show up on time. Are you dead? Please. Where is bed? I was like, finding Coney is where is bed? How was I supposed to know that what you meant was 5 a.m.? Knock, knock, knock. Let me in. No, it's not an ideal time for you to get the bed frame. What time then? I'm like, could you come back at 8? But I'm outside. Yeah, my housemates are sleeping. Should I just knock? This is getting creepy. 8 a.m. That's my final offer. What if I gave you $200? I'm like, sure, no, why your bed is worth shit. You won't get that out of me. I'm like, you don't have to collect it. Okay, see you at 8. I go back to sleep. I wake up at 8. Is she there? No f***ing way. 12 hours later, this. Let's see you. I'm here again. It's 8 p.m. Yes, where is the bed? Is the concept of time too hard for you to comprehend? You're 12 hours late. I can't get you the bed. I'm at work right now. Like, I'm not even home, but I came all the way back for it. Yup. No. Please. Heartbreak. Pumpkin emoji. Sorry. Typo. Seriously, please. Where the bed? That's the lady's back. What, can you help her get the bed? Sure. Okay. Housemate's home. Knock on the door. Ask for Tim. 402, 403. Knock, knock, knock. 403. Knock, knock, knock. Anyone in? Angry dolphin pile of shit. If you're gonna be a shit, you'll never get the bed. But I really want it, and I'm already there. The bed's not packed up. This is not what I expected. I'm taking off the bedding and the pillow and the mattress. What? There is no bedding. Just Dr. Tim. He'll show you to take. Is this free? Picture of pillow. That's not my pillow. Taking pillow. Where'd you get the pillow? What even is the pillow? Where the f*** are you? Is Eileen there? No. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want. Bigger than I thought. And free bedding. Thank you. 5 stars. Miss call, miss call, miss call, miss call, miss call, miss call, miss call. Cannot talk driving with Ben. Eileen, can you please pick up? Gay, I don't think you took my bed. Tim said you never picked it up. Thank you for the bed, Lucia. Miss call. Eileen, a message from my neighbor in our apartment complex. We have been robbed. Our bed was taken. Lock your doors. Eileen, you stole my neighbor's bed. My bed's still here. You took the wrong bed from the wrong house. I didn't know such thing. Then she blocks me. Eileen, please. Where is bed?
This was wild to me because the second someone on Facebook Marketplace would start not understanding that the free thing was free, I would just ignore them.
Oh,
I'd be like, you're done. Like, you're a psycho. I'm not dealing with you.
Same.
I have had issues in Facebook Marketplace before where one time I told the person my wrong address and they were like, I'm driving around and I can't find you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't I don't know what's wrong with me. But another time, my friends and I, when we were moving out of a house in Austin, this was pre-Facebook Marketplace, we put a post up on Craigslist that was like, we have a bunch of free stuff outside, like come and get whatever, it's first come first serve. And so some things were good, some things were not so good, and this person emailed us back and was like, you dirty rats.
Oh my gosh, you dirty rats.
Yeah, because they had like driven out and like didn't like what it was and was like, it's all trash, you rats. And we were like, okay,
oh my
you're
god,
mad.
psycho. Well, what's been on your For You page?
So one thing that's been on my For You page has been a lot of discourse surrounding, well, as you know, I'm on dermatologist TikTok. And so I'm already very aware of procedures that people get. But I guess Brooke Schofield, who is that influencer who got canceled because of being a racist in the past.
Being a what?
A racist.
Oh,
I was just like pronouncing it in an innovative way.
I see. I thought you were coming up with a new term that I just didn't know.
She's friends with like Tana Mojo. They did a podcast, and then there was lots of drama. Anyway, she's done her No One Ever Really Gets Canceled comeback and continues to post. And I guess she got an upper bleph, which is when they take the extra skin out of your like area below your eyebrow, that's the word, can't speak today, and or ever. And they essentially like create more definition in your eyelid. A creator by the name of Cassie Wilson made a video about just talking about upper blephs and like TikTok and the conversation surrounding plastic surgery, and Brooke Schofield responded to her and got mad.
Really?
And so she made this as a response, and I thought it was a pretty interesting response.
A couple days ago, I made a video about having hooded eyes. This video was not exclusively about Brooke Schofield, but more about how this is kind of the most recent insecurity that I am being shown on my FYP. I have a whole video series called Inventing Insecurities, where the angle that I'm hitting is, you know, women are fed these kind of like made up insecurities, and then we are sold some kind of solution to fix the problem. But like 2 hours after I posted that video, when it only had like 7,000 views, Brooke Schofield commented on it. This is such an unbelievably weird response to one person sharing their personal choice without in any way encouraging others to follow suit. First of all, I immediately panicked and I deleted that comment, because truly this video that I made was not supposed to like be criticizing her, but that seemed to be how she was taking it. And I was just like, I don't want to fight with this person. I don't know this person. I don't want to get into it. But since then, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this comment, but also more broadly, I haven't been able to stop thinking about where we currently are in this kind of ecosystem of sharing cosmetic procedures and enhancements. The idea that someone like Brooke can make a personal choice without encouraging others to follow suit, that is a fallacy. She is an influencer. You don't have to look down the camera and say, I want you to buy this thing or do this thing in order to influence people. Even if you don't think you're encouraging people to get this procedure, language does matter. I have seen other clips of her talking about how her eyes were really droopy, and that when someone gets this kind of bleph, afterwards they'll look refreshed. What do you think that language says to people who are watching you? People who see those videos are then going to start analyzing their own features and thinking, if I don't get my eyes done, are my eyes going to look droopy? Am I not going to be beautiful? Because women are obviously fed the idea that we need to be beautiful. That's the most important thing since the moment we form consciousness. But coming away from Brooke's comment, in general, when it comes to cosmetic enhancements, there seems to be this kind of invisible line that people are not supposed to cross. As in, if someone already fits kind of perfectly into the current beauty standard, which I would argue that Brooke and also Indy Clinton already fit into, then the public thinks they shouldn't touch their features. Indy Clinton recently got a nose job and she's getting a lot of flack about it online. And people will kind of stumble across that line by accident, it appears, and that's when they come under scrutiny.
And it reminds me as well of, like, it's really funny, like, I didn't know what hooded eyelids were until this year. We were together.
TikTok, we were, me, you, and Ashley, friend of the pod, were talking about hooded eyelids and discovering them because of TikTok.
It's such a ridiculous thing to be insecure about.
I forgot. I think all of us have hooded eyelids.
I definitely have hooded eyelids.
And also, what's in vogue? Like, is it better to have or not?
It's worse to have hooded eyelids because I guess like I guess the older you get, the more your skin will like kind of droop.
It
down.
droops. Okay, so if you have hooded eyelids, like it's
you're more
like
likely to have that happen.
Got it.
But I also think that like in Asia, people do the hooded eye surgery, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Yeah.
Where it's the idea is like making your eye look more
wider,
defined
open.
on the eye.
Yeah,
but also with like more definition on the eyelid. Like if
like you could put more eyeshadow on your
exactly.
eye. Yeah.
The whole thing is like you have to apply eyeshadow differently because if I put eyeshadow on and I open my eye, it's like, cool, what did you do?
The last time I put on eyeshadow myself, I mean, I had eyeshadow on for my wedding, but like I literally don't think I've ever applied eyeshadow except for in college. That's not a thing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I have hooded eyes.
I mean, I like this girl's take because I think it's true. It's like we're inventing insecurities to have. These are also fashions. You know what? If you actually like have a problem and want to change, or like, I don't know, if you have like body dysmorphia, really want to change your eyes for some reason, sure,
go for it. Yeah, everyone has a choice.
But her point is also to the fact that this Brooke person is like, it's really weird that you would be mad. And this goes back to like the Remy Bader thing where these influencers are mad that people are saying like your behavior has influence
negative effects
on, not just negative, but like it influences the way that your audience thinks. And they're like, no, I'm just an individual. I'm just doing things for me. And it's like, you are a brand and people are following you as an example. Your entire role is inspiring people to do what you do and buy what you buy. And so even though you're just living your life, in a way, every choice you make is converted. I mean, it's kind of like it's like, wow, do you want that job? I don't. Because if people are going to hold you to these standards and but another insecurity that I learned about on TikTok that I didn't know was a thing to be insecure about is people get really weird about hip dips.
Oh my God.
And I saw a video yesterday that was this like some sort of doctor explaining like, it's literally anatomy. You don't even have a muscle that you could change. Like, you can't even work a muscle because there is no muscle there.
So, is there a surgery for hip dips now?
I think people, when they get, like, BBLs, do it.
Oh, boy.
But if you look up if you want to, like, go down a really depressing route of, like, body hatred, look up hip dips. Ugh.
Wait, speaking of BBLs, the one thing I saw on TikTok was that apparently there is a BBL smell because they leak or something. So the Miami airport apparently, or like flights back from Brazil, have a certain odor because of whatever is coming out of the BBL. And I never knew that. I find that very repulsive.
Okay, but also, at what point is it coming out of your BBL? And second question, if you go to Brazil to get a BBL, you're going to have to wait, 3 months before you can take a flight back?
No, people book whole rows and just like, haven't you seen the TikToks where like people can barely sit and they're kind of like, I think they buy like whole rows and they kind of just, I don't know.
But buying a whole row doesn't actually work because they will put someone next to you if there's an empty seat.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I won't be getting a BBL.
The thing that makes me sad is I think a lot of girls who are, 12, 13 watching TikTok and now they're thinking of all these things that like, I never thought about my eyelids. I never thought about my hips. But if you're a 12 or 13-year-old girl who's impressionable, you have so many chances to be insecure and it's just sad.
Yeah, I think my insecurities when I was that age were more simple. It was like, I'm fat.
Oh, same as former, fat kids.
Oh, also sweaty.
You were sweaty too?
So, oh my God, insanely sweaty.
Wow. I didn't really have a problem.
I had to use a special deodorant that like stopped my sweat and it worked really well. Probably gave me cancer. But then the thing is, my sweat just comes out of other areas. So it like stopped my armpit sweat.
The Dove body all over deodorant. I'm like, who would use that? But I guess you needed it.
Well, yeah. I wore in 7th grade, I wore a hooded sweatshirt every single day of school because if I put on a t-shirt within 5 minutes, I would have sweat pits, like enormous sweat pits.
Okay, but weren't you sweating because you were in a sweatshirt?
Well, this was the issue.
Couldn't win.
No, but I couldn't win. It was either see my sweat pits or I'll wear a sweatshirt and you won't see my sweat pits.
That's really sad.
It's really tragic.
You went
it's
through
fine.
That.
I'm fine now, though. But it was definitely like puberty.
Yeah, your hormones were changing.
I was so disgustingly sweaty.
Amazing.
I'm not anymore, though.
I love that for you.
Thank
Mazel
you.
tov. Okay, last but not least, we have our food and drink section. Ashley, friend of the pod, sent us a video by Justine Snacks, and I think this looks really great, and I want to try to make it.
So I'm doing a mini-series of 3 recipes as I get prepped for my wedding, but the series is called Not Taking Spring So Seriously. Because in my newsletter last week, I was kind of stressing about how I wasn't feeling like I had good enough ideas for spring vegetables, and I threw out all these non-recipe ideas, which made me realize that spring vegetables don't need a ton to be great. So here, I'm just charring up some chopped lemon and a ton of olive oil. I add garlic and red pepper later so they don't burn. And the rest is like spring doing its thing. Snap peas, basil and mint. I feel like I haven't had basil in forever. An avocado, throwing in some pearl mozzarella. And then my favorite thing is I add beans to marinate in the charred lemon dressing first. Like I want them to soak up all the flavor. And I use that other lemon that we have to make sure the rest of the salad isn't bland. So, there's lemon juice and salt on that. Remembered I needed a bigger bowl to mix everything. And then just add some toasted pistachios and it is everything I want to eat. It would also be a great pasta salad or potato salad. But right now it's just a salad. I packed it up with arugula because, one more spring vegetable won't hurt.
I like Justine Snacks content a lot. She did a whole series where she was trying to get rid of items in her pantry.
Useful.
And she was just trying to use like her pantry items, all of her sauces. And she was like, I've acquired too many things. And she had one dish that was she was like, things I would do again. And one was just marinate tofu with anything that you have in your fridge, like any sauce.
Yeah.
And because of that video, I decided to try to cook tofu the way she did in the video, and it came out so bad.
It's hard to cook tofu.
It was user error.
It's hard.
Yeah. I had since forever now, I pretty much only will bake tofu because it gets like the texture that I want it to get, and I don't try to pan fry it. But the way she pan fried it looked really good. I was like, I'm gonna pan fry it, and it was awful, disgusting. I didn't do it well.
Are you saying tofu?
Yes, I'm sorry. I realized I say that, but then recently I heard someone in a video say tofu, so now I feel justified.
It's
tofu.
Tofu.
Yeah, I say
Not
it wrong.
tofu.
I don't know why. It's not because of other languages. It's just me being who I am.
And I hope you stay that way.
I hope that the public
Tofu-y.
bullies me for this as well.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be off next week because I will be in Vancouver visiting Melissa, original co-founder, co-host of the
You guys
pod.
should make an episode.
Oh, well, we'll be busy whale watching. Actually, Melissa's not whale watching, but me, Sam, and Ben will be whale watching. Anyway, but we'll be off, but we'll be back in 2 weeks at the end of April.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.